I did not get a chance to read your consultation form.
Okay.
Uh, Go ahead and just fill me in, and then share any information that you think I should know.
Okay. So I have a 4.5-year-old Schnauzer. He it's very social, loves other dogs, loves people. But we live in a house that has windows all over the place. So he has gotten, with time, used to bark at every window and chase dogs around the perimeter of the house.
Okay.
As of the last year and a half, 2 years, um, he has become very protective of the house and of me. So we have glass near our front door. So any delivery, any people knocking on the door is crazy, aggressive, jumps up, gets really upset. It used to be that when people pass the threshold, he was fine because he will just be protective of the space. Lately, in the last like 6 months, he's gotten more aggressive towards, any adult, especially adult male that comes in the house. So he has snipped at like a couple of my kids are teenagers, so there's a lot of children coming in and out of the house. So he snipped at a couple of one kid a couple times and an adult friend. Nothing that is really aggressive, but like just like goes for the ankle, for the shoe, kind of like when they're passing, and if they catch him out of like I don't know if he can hear or anyone's his issue is like he just gets surprised by someone walking by and he goes like and nips at them. But the biggest issues are like the barking at everybody that comes around and sort of like they're a little aggressive towards men in the house. Also, there's also reason like if I'm in the couch by myself and one of my kids, where big, tall men come to like towards me to hug me or kiss me, he growls at them like he's sort of like protective of me. So that's sort of like the gist of it.
Okay. When you said he'll have moments when he nips ankles, like when people are moving around the house. How many times has that happened?
Um, twice, no, 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
And they were all surprised. You said, right?
Yeah. It
Okay.
was sort of like out of nowhere, kind of like people that he knows.
Mhm.
Sort of, I mean, they're not family, but people that he's know and met, and sort of big teenagers, and in one case, a family friend, an adult male, but just weird because it's not like a stranger; it's just someone that he knows, and it sort of, like he's fine, and all of a sudden someone walks by and he goes,
Got it. Um, and then like the bites, are they punctures or did they need stitches or how bad were they?
no, just sort of like I don't know what you call them, but like sort of like a couple times there were shoes and a couple times there were ankles, so they're like just scratches.
Okay. Bites. What else? And when did all that start?
Um,
All of this type of behavior start?
it's within the last year, so post pandemic kind of thing. Like,
Oh, okay.
we don't know post pandemic, within pandemic, like they were we've been in the house of like
Post
everybody
lockdown.
else. Yeah, so like it's four of us in the family. We've been here nonstop. So when there will be like a friend coming in or a service person coming in, he just starts getting a little like, bleh.
Okay. And then how much does he weigh?
I don't know, like, let's see, weigh like 50 pounds.
50. So barking at windows, um, oops, protecting you. Does he? Is he? Is he? Are you the only one that he generally protects in the home?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say that.
Oh,
And the actual home too.
okay. And the actual house,
Yeah.
nipped ankles or shoes out of surprise, and light bites do not require any stitches or anything, no punctures, and this started after lockdown. So probably after when more people start going back to work and
Right.
visiting and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Oh, what's his name?
Manolo.
Manolo.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else I should know about Manolo?
This is less of a problem because we have ways to control it, but he runs out if the garage is open and doors open. He goes,
Okay.
which he's lucky that he hasn't hit by a car, but he likes to ditch.
Is he easy to get him back?
Yeah, the technique has been perfected, and it's just you get in your car, you open the door of the car, and he gets it.
Oh, okay.
Any car of any person. He likes cars, so he gets in the car.
Got it. I used to have a Saint Bernard that when he would get out, he would just go for his like regular walk routine. He'll just start
Oh, that's so sweet.
and then we would pull up and like, hey, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, hey, and then he'll hop in the car. Like that's what we do. When I was a kid, yeah. All right. And then how is he when guests, like just in general, just the guests walk in? So like, let's say someone is visiting, like how does that go down?
He's very high energy, very excited. He wiggles and shakes. He wants to play. He can jump on people. You can correct, but he's has a really strong impulse, not a lot of impulse control. So he wants to, he wants to be scratched, and he wiggles, and he wants to play. And he just wants all the attention and very needy. Depends on the guest. Not everybody wants to engage with a dog like that deeply, but the more attention you give him, the more he wants. So he loves it.
Okay. So a guest comes over, and like let's say he's getting excited, he's fine. Are there any moments where he just starts barking at the guest or anything like that, or like
he barks at guests if there's a substantial looking male figure, like if it's a dude that looks like an adult, he barks at them.
Okay.
And then he calms down, like when he gets familiar, but he might bark at them.
So let's say he barks and then he calms down.
Yeah.
Does he ever bark again?
No.
So it's just that one beginning bark.
Yeah. Like who are you? Why are you in my house? What's going on? And then he gets scratches and stuff, and he's like very happy, and then gets like he's just super excited. And so if you engage with him, he gets more excited, and then he gets super tired and just moves on.
Okay, that makes that clears that clears a few things up. So with those three little the ankle bites, like what was the time like when the first one happened, when the second one happened, when the third one happened?
I feel like all of them. The first time, it was a person that works in our he came to fix our TV or something. It's a person that he knows.
Okay.
Totally chill. We barked at him, but I put him in a crate, and he was totally chill. And he was sitting with me, and then the guy walked by, and he went after it. Okay. With one of the teenage kids, this might be a problem because my house has entrances from many places. So the kids will come from the back door or the yard. So this kid came from the yard with my son. My son was ahead. The kid came sort of like walking by himself in the house without knocking the door or anything. So he was like, whoa. And he jumped at his ankle. And the third time, that was weird because it was a friend of mine. He didn't know this person. He barked at him. Once they played, he was very comfortable. And then he made a sudden move, and he went for the shoe.
Got it. Okay. And what was the so the latest one was your friend?
The teenage kid, and that was about 3 weeks ago.
And then how long ago was the one before that?
Maybe 2 months.
2 months. And then the first one was how long?
Maybe 4 months ago, or 5.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't, maybe I'm just training him the wrong way. He seems to learn whatever skill I'm trying. I mean, like I'm struggling with this. So I try new things. He learns them and then he like skips over them. So for example, the whole barking at people dropping things in the door is super annoying. So I will give him treats and stuff. So now if he hears the ring, he knows someone's coming. If he sees me walking towards the door, he knows someone's coming. So he anticipates all the corrections. so I'm trying to train him to like stay here, stay with me. So he's like, what? It means someone's coming. So it's sort of like escalates, like whatever I do to like anticipate the reaction, because it's very hard to bring him down. Like I can train him all day in my house when he's chill, but when someone comes in, he just gets like so high level. But when I try to anticipate, like I know someone's coming and I try to like calm him down, he just knows. So he just gets like even more hyped up and goes to the door. It's like, wait, someone's coming. Are you telling me to be quiet? Let me go. So I'm probably not doing it right, but it's sort of like he's learning every trick of mine. So he just gets like more and more and more and more.
Got it. And I'll explain why that isn't working and everything like that. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
He pulls when you walk him, but that's sort of like secondary problem.
Oh yeah. So yeah, your focus is on the behavior, but then you're also like, well, you also kind of want to focus on obedience as well. Pulling.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. And then obviously I'm assuming you want recall, come and call.
That will be great. If we ever. That's food. That's a food delivery.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So it sounds like, because I was getting maybe a little bit, it's either where was he at when the kid was running and he bit?
It's always in the family room. Like we spend most of the time family room kitchen area, which is where I am right now, like the kitchen. So you can't come from the back of the house to the garage to it, and so that's how the kids come in. So he was right here in the kitchen.
And where were you?
Sitting like right where I am. Right.
Oh, so
I don't remember, but like around here somewhere.
So did all these bites happen when you were next to him?
When I'm in the room, yeah.
All right. So I was thinking might have been he might be a little bit of a nervous dog, but a nervous dog is more stuck because he's able to chill out and then out of nowhere he'll just bite. But it's not out of nowhere. But a nervous dog would be stuck in like a mindset of why are you here? Right? As soon as you open the door, he's like, oh, person. And then he gets excited and everything. He wants to say hi. He wants to be with them and everything like that. But a nervous dog would stay barking. Guest walks in and they keep barking and they back away. And then they will chill out. And then like to say everyone else chills out too. And that person stands up and he's like, whoa. And he'll start barking again. And he goes back into where he was in the beginning of barking. But he can't do that, right?
No.
So it sounds like what you're saying, like it's just surprise and also maybe a little bit of territorial from where he's around you. And so the kid, like you said, he came out of nowhere by himself. He's like, whoa, what are you doing here? And then boom, he did. Yep. The gentleman working in your house was upstairs. Was he upstairs for a while and then he came back
in the basement and came in the main floor and then he's like, whoa.
Yeah. So if he was down there for a while, sometimes dogs are like, okay, maybe he left and they just chill out. But then all of a sudden they see him again. He's like, whoa, he's still here and he's walking right by me. Then he could have, that's where the nip could have came from. What was the other one? Your friend, right?
Right. Just sitting, having coffee with me. That was weird because he really got engaged with the person and he was into it. But maybe I saw the movement, the guy got up or whatever. Ne? Lucas. Sorry, give me a second.
Panda? No.
So that's just his everyday behavior. It's like someone comes to the door, drops something, and he's like freaks out, goes in. You know, you can he can go out of many doors to like the outdoor area and see who's coming and going. So it just feels like it's his job to just like take care of the house.
Yeah. But as soon as the person walks in, he's cool, right?
You know, like not cool, like excited, like very hyper, and then he wants to be petted, and if he gets pet, he gets really into it. It takes a while. Like he's a very high energy. So the person comes in, if it's a friend and he feels comfortable, he just gets crazy and jumpy and like, ah, then he cools down after a while.
What if it's a stranger?
It takes him a while. He barks.
Okay.
He barks at the person. And then we have a crate, so we put him in a crate. Then he comes out. If people are walking back and forth, he barks at them. If they're like, you know, anybody that's doing work in the house, we just had a flood, so there's been a lot of people coming in. So it's like he's losing his mind. So barks. If it's a stranger, barks from the crate because we're not risking it anymore. But if it's someone that he knows, he's super hyper, jumps, wants to be petted, gets super like, ah, and then chills.
Okay. Yeah, it just sounds like territorial. When you put him in the crate, what you're doing is you're just physically moving him somewhere else, but he's still thinking about it. He's still thinking, "Who is this guy in my house?"
Right.
Stuck there.
Right.
So yeah, all these bites, they just sound like it was too territorial, and it just sounds like he was just caught off guard, and that he was never told to ignore the guest, or he was never told, because it sounds dumb, but dogs don't understand that, oh, the plumbing guy is coming here to fix a flood. I should probably just relax and let him fix the problem, right? We can't do that, but we can't actually like explain all of this. But what we can do is tell them, hey, someone is here, they're mine. You go do your own thing or leave us alone. That's what we have to do, and what we can do to help him settle down and kind of figure it out, and to not keep being stuck in like, who's this guy, who's this guy, who's this guy. So for Manolo, that's what I'm getting. I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit of nervousness, just because when he gets caught off guard, right? Because we have a dog here that's nervous, but they're not the nervous of like vocal and barking and everything. They're nervous of like if something if something happens, they just like go like they like really like this, like they flinch a lot. Something catches them off guard, or if you do something like weird to them, they get super stiff and like, what's going on, right? Checking them out or anything like that. So maybe he does have a little bit of nervousness, but it sounds like a lot of territorial behavior since all of this is happening within the home as well. What else? The barking at windows is like pretty much a normal thing that happens, and so all these things that are happening are technically natural, but they're not appropriate, right? All dogs have some sort of territorial behavior in them of like protect the home, right? So it's all natural, but obviously it's not appropriate. So we'll have to address those behaviors. The running away for recall, like you said, obviously we wouldn't have to always want to get in our car and go get him and make him bribe him in. So we would have to have like that immediate Manolo come, and he should just turn around and immediately come back to you, or just create a new behavior where if the door is open, you don't run out, right? There's two ways to kind of go about it. So that's just obedience. Guests walking in excited. Sometimes it depends if you're trying to fix that, like the even if he's fine with the guest and he's getting excited, like sometimes people don't like dogs. So
Right.
if that's something you want to fix and make him more calm, because that also kind of has to do with the territorialness and like the little bit of nervousness when a guest walks in. They kind
Right.
of go together because he's kind of doing what he wants and doing what he thinks in that moment, like impulse, like you said. Um,
Mhm.
so that kind of goes hand in hand with that. If we wanted to address the territorialness, this will also happen to be fixed by itself, most likely.
Okay.
What else? Oh, and then the you give him tricks when you know someone's coming over. So so when like for example, like an owner who has a reactive dog, so a dog that's barking all the time and on edge on the walks. If an owner sees a dog coming, but the dog doesn't see it, you'll start to notice that the owner goes like this, like they start to
Mhm.
poke the dog, but the
Mhm.
dog hasn't even seen it. So they're like, "What's going on?"
Right.
Oh, that's why you're
Percent. Yeah.
stressed, right? So if you're stressed and you're acting like, "Hey, buddy, let's do some tricks because something's gonna happen, so let's get ready," right? He senses your energy, so he's like, "Okay, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? What's different? Oh, someone's coming over. That's why you act like this." So
Mhm.
your energy is feeding into his energy or just feeding energy in general when there was no energy to start with. And then he's getting more amped up. So the guest comes over and he's ready because he's starting to see the sequence. Every
Right.
time mom starts to train me, and then there's a person that comes over. So he's starting to see this. Like you said, he's starting to get the hang of it. So we
Mhm.
start, um, hyping him up unintentionally. You're causing excitement, and then excitement turns into like the reactivity and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I I've done so many different things, and it immediately like he picks up on it right away. Um,
Because you're thinking because what do you do? Do you do like sit or what do you do or
well, um, it started with we changed there was a ring bell, so we changed the bell. So he picked up then a new bell. Then we took the bell off. Oh, sorry.
you're good.
Um, then we so then he knows the bell. Now he knows someone's calling me, so he's going through the door. Then a friend of mine has this trainer that had us have like a pad in the family room that he will go to place when people come over. And I can go to place all day long, and he loves a treat and whatever. But if the bell rings at the door, he doesn't. There's no bring him back.
Yes.
But if I play him Bell a bunch of times, I mean, plays a bunch of times, he's like, someone probably coming. You're up to no good. And so he's like, what? And then he'll go just to see if someone's coming. Like he won't bark or anything. He just go to the door. I'm like, someone must be coming because you're up to nothing. I mean, it was a while ago, a couple years ago, that I will say quiet, and he's like, what? Then it was like quiet. He's like, oh, someone's coming. I'm gonna go bark. So like it's just like it just learns every trick, and he like it just so keeps escalating. So it's just like oh god.
So, yeah, it's just the sequence. That's he's getting the hang of it. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I used to walk my dog at night or like during any time, I'd see a cat. I go kitty kitty. I would do this high pitched voice, and then the cat would come, and I kept doing it, and then all of a sudden I said it one day, and my dog just like did this right, and
Right.
he was like, "Where's the cat?" So I didn't mean to do that, but it was just a sequence of every time she heard this pitch, and then she's like, why is this, what's this change, why is this happening? Oh,
Yeah.
there's a cat here, interesting. So as it kept repeating, she's like, I'd say it, and then she flips the switch, right? um and then also place. So place is a obedience command. So we have obedience and behavior for dogs.
Yeah.
What the difference is?
No.
So for humans, think of obedience like math, science, English, social studies. That's obedience for humans. And then behavior for humans is don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm a murderer or like a psychopath, giving me math problems won't make me stop killing people.
Mm-hmm.
So for dogs, behavior is don't jump, don't growl, don't whine, don't bite. Obedience is sit down, stay place.
Right.
So telling him to place won't. Oh, hello.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, one sec. What happened? Oh, there you go. So telling him place isn't fixing the territorial behavior because that's behavior work. Behavior is the barking, the territorial. Place is like the sit down, stay place. So
Okay.
they will never connect and they'll
And
never
that's the same thing.
physically you can move your dog there physically, but mentally your dog is still going to be thinking about it.
Right.
Manolo, he's still going to be thinking or having that territorial behavior while he's on place, and he's probably going to be like this. He'll probably be on place and he'll probably be ready as he's just going to be ready to lunge or whatever or check down
Mhm.
the guy
Mhm.
or he's going to continue barking.
Right.
Uh, does that make sense?
Hmm. I mean, it just opens up, explains so much.
But then, I mean, you're doing your best. You know, you're trying all these ideas. You keep trying. You're trying, and that's why we appreciate these you and the other owners because what we're seeing is that you're not giving up. So you keep, you know, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? All right, let me talk to someone, right? So you're just trying to figure out what's gonna work, right? So that's what we're here for. What else? Did I get everything? And then most likely, yeah, I mean, post pandemic or post lockdown, we definitely started getting an increase of clients, or maybe even old clients calling us saying, "Hey, something happened. So a new behavior has been started ever since the pandemic started, right? So a lot of things are happening during the lockdown, with just all the owners being together all the time. There's getting that he's getting that dogs are getting like separation anxiety, or like it's been a normal thing for such a long time for people to stay home all day, every day, all the time that once they start to change, they get thrown off with the schedule and everything.
Right, right.
What else? Good. So, any questions about anything I just explained?
No, I'm just ready to get this thing fixed. The
Yes.
behavior, the behavior.
Correct. So, just want to give make sure you are aware that we do train e-collars, electronic collars, and prong collars, right?
Yes, which on another note, I just bought one of those, and it's probably not the one that you recommend, and I'm happy to get another because after the last bite, I just freaked out, and I'm like, screw it, I don't care, whatever. I just rather have him have an electronic collar than have to give him away.
Yeah.
So of course it's sort of like a escalation collar, so has vibration, has a beep, and has a shocker. I don't know that the shocker works, but as per usual with everything with him, if I do the beep, he thinks someone's coming. So he's like, "What?" So the first couple times he was like scared, and now he's like, "Oh, I know, someone's coming to the house." So I'm totally down. You guys have to teach me how to use them because whatever I bought, he's already like, whatever.
Got it. Yeah.
I haven't used the shock part because it doesn't seem to work in this particular color, but I'm down for whatever.
Do you remember how much you paid for it?
How much what?
You paid, or what the brand is, or anything?
Like $50 or something.
That's probably the wrong one.
It's
um,
called Patet.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. $50 is already telling me it's not gonna be.
It's not the one. Okay, good. I don't care. I'll get it.
So yeah, we train electronic collars. Um, so we have a lot. So there's a lot of methods out there. We have like the positive only, which is just food, and food is good for things you want to see. So like what you're doing, place you feed, because you want to see place. But for territorial, if you give food, it wouldn't connect. It doesn't matter because he's more focused on because when dogs are in territorial mode, they're in like a fight mode.
Mm-hmm.
They're because the dogs um brain, they're always, their goal in life is just to survive and then like replicate, right? That's all they think of, and that's what they're supposed to hear. That's what they're here to do. um so right there he's going into like survival mode of someone's entering my home, someone's here. And when the turkey comes out, he's going to be like, hell no, someone's here, I don't
Yeah,
care.
I need to defend my people. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where positive reinforcement has like a low ceiling with that stuff. And then we move on to other tools like maybe like prong collar, right? Prong collars, like those spiky ones.
He has one of those.
Yeah. Sometimes prong collar, and maybe you've seen it, is not working because it's not enough. Because prong collar is a good tool because it allows you to correct your dog like physically, so it closes when he pulls, or like you get a leash pop and then it's supposed to close really quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's physical, so dogs are physical animals. As you see with Manolo, if he doesn't like someone walking past him while you're here in his home unannounced, he's gonna let them know with a bite or a growl or a bark, right? Same thing with dogs at the dog park. If a dog is mounting another dog and that dog doesn't like it, they don't say, "Hey, leave it," right? It's just bite. You're mounting me, right? It's an action, and then you get a consequence right after it. So dogs are very reactive animals. Um, but the issue with prong collar is sometimes it's not working because if Manalo is at like a 10 on his excitement level and your strongest leash pop is a 7, you're never going to override the brain. You're never going to make him stop.
Right.
That's where you're at. And
Right.
then when you take the leash off, you've lost all control now. So that's where prong collar is not, has a low ceiling as well.
Okay.
That brings us to e-collar, right? Electronic collars are the tool that gets us to like 90 to 100% off of reliable obedience, and can break into the mindset of a dog and help them to settle, right? Because he just needs more pressure and some sort of pressure that is in his language. So e-collar is also physical. So this, the technology that's on electronic collars and is what's used on humans. So physical therapists or chiropractors use a machine called STIM, like a TENS unit, where it contracts the muscle
Mm-hmm.
that's torn. So that same technology is on humans. The way they work it is they'll tell the client, "Hey, let me know when it's too high," as they keep increasing it on the shoulder, for example. Client will let them know, "Hey, that's a little too uncomfortable." Okay, they lower it 2 levels down, and then they let the machine do its work. So that same way is very similar to how we do our training with the dogs, the electronic collars. So it's just a muscle contractor, right? It's electric. The collar is electric, but it's not electricity. So it's not flowing through the dog's body. It's you probably have seen it. It's like a little strap, a box with 2 points,
The 2 prongs. Yeah.
2 prongs, and then whatever they're touching is what it's contracting, right? It's stimulation.
Okay.
Um, so like I said, it's a physical. It's their language. They understand super quickly. The brand we use is called Dogtra. This brand of, for the ECOS has 127 levels, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 127.
Okay.
Do you know how many levels your collar has?
16.
16. So think of 16, the power, when you press it, equal to 127.
Okay.
They're both the same. But
Yeah.
we have so many more numbers to be more specific to the dog's personality, the environment, what we're working on. We can be very specific, right? So the 16 leveled e-collar, maybe 10 is making Manolo yelp. It's too high. But then you go to 9, and then he's not feeling it. It's too low. So then you're
Yeah.
stuck. You
Right.
either want Manolo yelping, or you just don't want him listening, right?
Right.
For the dog trust, since we have so many more levels, if 40 is too high, 50 is too low, we can go to 45 or 42 or 43. We can be very specific in that moment. You have a mile long range. I don't think you need a mile, but you have a mile long range. They're waterproof. They don't need batteries. You just plug them in and then you plug that into the wall. They recharge. Battery life lasts a long time. The collar itself lasts a long time as well. We've had ours for many years, no issues. What else? Very easy to use, just like you just use one button and then you have the dial to turn it to increase and decrease the number or the levels. Any questions about the e-collar?
No.
So the reason why e-collar would be great in this situation is because it's not confrontational. So if he's doing something, right, instead of being yelling, pulling him, or trying to do something with their body, trying to get him away, you have this remote, you just press a button and he should just stop, right? That's the goal of, like, you don't need to do anything, less effort. You press a button, he knows what to do, he leaves the space, lets the guest enter, and then he's cool because this told him to be cool about whatever's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just easier. in that sense of, again, not using any energy on yourself to fix the issue or yelling or anything like that. Not saying you are yelling, but usually it's, whatever happens in that moment saves you a lot of time, makes life easier. Um, so to get to this point of addressing these behaviors in the home, we would have to teach him what this feeling means, how it turns on, and how it turns off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we would have to teach him a heel. Right. Heel is like our walkie command. So this would address your pulling.
Mm-hmm.
Heel for us is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So if you take 5 steps with Manolo takes 5 steps. If you take 10, he takes 10. If you come to a stop, he should automatically sit at your side, loose leash with his right shoulder parallel with your left leg all the time in any environment. He's supposed to be right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're doing in that exercise is we're addressing two things at the same time, pulling and then teaching him how pressure on, pressure off concept works. So pressure on when he's not complying, pressure off when he's complying, when he's at your side, right? So once he figures out, oh, I'm in control of the feeling of this e-collar, because whatever choices I make makes it go off. But if I make this decision, it goes away. So I control it. Once he realizes how it works, then we can start diving into like the behavioral issues of like um, the behaviors in the home, teaching you how to greet, what to do when a guest knocks, right? Because there's the knock, there's the doorbell, there's a door knob wiggling, there's a door opening, and then there's a guest coming in. Those are all triggers, and we'll teach you how to address every single trigger and what to do, when and how to get ready for that and get him set up for success in that moment. Any questions so far?
No.
What else? Is he muzzle conditioned? Does he have a muzzle?
No, I just bought one, but he's never used it.
Okay, and then what kind of muzzle is it?
I just bought some goofy thing, like a Caesar Milan thing that has like a printed face on it, but he's never used it yet.
Like a basket?
It's like a basket, yeah. Like there's, let me show you. Right here. Just like
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
I just got it just because of the whole thing.
Yeah. So
But he hasn't used it yet because it's been kind of crazy.
Yeah. So we'll recommend you. We'll send you a link of another muzzle that we recommend. The muzzle we recommend is just called it's just a basket, because that one shuts the mouth and they can't breathe. So the mouth is closed. They can still breathe through the nose, but like the basket allows them to like open their mouth. They can drink water. They can eat food from it.
Oh.
So it's really good. Okay. And then also because when dogs release stress or deal with stress through their mouths, so if a dog is stressed and tense, they'll pant a lot. They need to let it out to vent. But if the muzzle is closing the mouth, they can't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we'll recommend you a muzzle. But what you're gonna want to do right now, even if you don't even do this program, I still recommend that you muzzle condition Manolo. So there's tons of YouTube videos out there that show you, how to do that, which is basically the idea is here's the food, here's the muzzle, eat out of the muzzle, right? And then the idea is if they don't eat out of the muzzle, right, their breakfast, they don't eat for the breakfast. Then you do it again for dinner and they don't want to eat the food out of the muzzle for dinner, then they don't eat. So they're going to start thinking, wow, I'm hungry. I've only seen food come out when the muzzle comes out, so I better start eating.
Okay.
And once he starts eating, he's going to look at the muzzle as a source of food. So you're getting him comfortable with it, right? That's the idea. That's the fastest way to get a dog muzzle condition is just feeding using the meals. And they thrive on repetition. So you wouldn't pour the whole food in the muzzle with a bag in it. You just put a little bit of kibble, like 2 or 3 pieces. He eats it 2 more, 3 pieces, keep doing it and keep repeating, right? So you want to start that as soon as possible.
Okay.
So that by the time we do certain exercises, he'll be muzzled, and that's one less thing he needs to worry about, right? Because the muzzle's a stressor, the person walking in is a stressor, the e-collar is a stressor. So there's so many stressors, right? It would make life a lot easier if you at least get the muzzle comfortable with him, so that one stressor is not there.
Okay.
And we still might see some fight. We might still see some fighting with the muzzle. And if that happens, it'll be much more easier to address it than if he wasn't familiar with the muzzle at all. So I'm telling you now, start that now, because we have had clients who won't start muzzle conditioning until like 2 days before, and it's just a mess. Because what can happen is dogs will start to fight it.
So many things, yeah.
Right, they'll start to fight it, and we've had dogs rip their claws out trying to pull it off, scratch their face, a lot of blood everywhere. Right, it gets really violent. Okay. So just to help that moment, definitely do the muzzle conditioning.
Can they drink water with the muzzle too?
Yes, because I wish I had one. Oh, there's one right here. So it's just a basket.
Oh, I see.
So the nose goes through here, and then like the mouth is here, so they can drink the water and eat food as well. So this is called Baskerville. It's just a little like this.
Got it.
The size chart, you're gonna want to look at the size chart. Go buy the size chart first, and then I'm pretty sure you need to buy another one, an extra size bigger. But this is a size 4. I'm not sure what he might need. Maybe a 4, maybe a 5. Yeah, it just depends. I'm not sure what he'll need.
He's very hairy, so.
Very hairy.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions about all that information?
No. So how much between the training with the muscle and then like training with you guys?
Yeah. Like cost?
No, like the space and time. Like how much?
Whenever you're ready. So I'd say do your best with the muzzle. And then I'd say about like, because so what program are you looking for? Are you looking for a board and train?
Ideally, I don't know if it's an option. I don't remember. It would be here if that's something you do, because the house is such an important part of the behavioral issue. That if it could be at home training, that would be great. I don't know if you guys offer it. I think you do, but I don't remember the details. But so ideally, someone comes here. Ideally, you or a male with ideally dark hair, because that's everybody that he attacks has dark hair. So if that's a thing, like right here, anytime we're ready. Like we want to get this started as soon as possible.
Okay. So you're looking for one-on-one. Where are you located?
In Ravenswood.
Ravenswood. How far is that from like Logan Square?
It's pretty far. It's like Ashland and Irving. It's like the closest big.
Okay. I'll have to look into it. But we do in-home. There might be a travel fee, I'm not sure, or depending how far, there's either a travel fee if it's outside of the city. If they're in the city, it's just the in-home fee. I don't know the difference between on the top of my head, but we can definitely do in-home if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
The first 2 lessons would be heel. Just working outside, teaching this concept first. Then then we will be able to dive into like the in-home behavior stuff.
Okay.
So program wise, we have 6, 9, 12. 6 week, again, 2 on heel, but then you need 2 on recall. So that leaves you 2 classes left, which is technically not enough for like everything else, because we can do the in-home in 2 classes, but whether we make progress or not,
I don't think he's gonna be ready.
So then we have the 9 week where it's heel 2 classes, recall 2 classes, And then how's he on the walks? He just pulls, that's it?
He is very interested in other dogs. He doesn't know how to approach them. So depending on the type of dog, he might be like aggressive that he was just like bark and go. He pulls to be with other dogs. So maybe I'm judging other people, but like my experience in my neighborhood is like people get really like, I want them to socialize, but then he's pulling and the other dog owner is pulling back, and all he wants to do is just go smell a dog. He's not gonna buy a dog, like he's never done it, and he will not. He just wants to play and like get on the space. He just doesn't have the manners for it, and the reaction I get in my neighborhood is like people just pull. So it's just he gets excited. He goes after any dog. He just wants to be with other dogs. He goes to daycare a lot, so he's like running around with dogs a lot. But on leash, he doesn't have the manners to approach a dog in a calm way that the dog feels comfortable. So he's always like, that's what. So it's a lot of the owners get scared and they pull back, and so it just gets a little tense.
Yeah. And does he care about people on the walks?
Not during the day, but my kids walk him at night. So sometimes if there's like a big person coming by, he barks as a protective of the kids.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll do heel. We'll see how like that dog engagement is. And then we can see if we can just dive straight into the in-home stuff. So maybe we'll do heel, and then you have 2 classes on recall, and then 5 classes. So for the in-home, one would teach you the how does it the process of how we do the exercise. So teaching the exercise, and the second in-home would, because we would probably give you time and gaps to practice in the home with other guests coming in and everything. And we'll have that class, and then you have 3 left here. So depending on how everything goes, if you're still struggling, you have 3 classes to focus on the in-home. But let's say everything's going great. Like, wow, guest comes in, he doesn't care. I haven't had an incident. He's fantastic. Then we can teach you other obedience commands like place, like the place of like with the e-car where we send him to a place and he won't move. He should not hop off at all, right?
Okay.
And then we have the stay and then the down. So
Okay.
I'll talk to Jesse, get his opinion on it of what program would work for you, because if it's strictly in the home, we can do the heel, right? 2 classes on
Right.
6 weeks. If we do the 6-week program, heel 2 classes, go straight into the in-home.
Right.
But then, like you said, you're looking for recall. So I do think the 9 would be best for you. Let me see. But I'll include it in the follow-up email as well.
Okay.
So after this consultation, you'll get a follow-up email.
Okay.
Follow-up email will have the information of the programs I recommended with the pricings, the e-collar I recommend from Manolo, and you have 2 options. You can either purchase it on Amazon yourself, and usually for like the one-on-one sessions, the client usually purchases it themselves because they get familiar with it. Come first class, they already know what it is and everything like that, and then we can get started.
Right.
So you have the option to purchase it through Amazon or purchase it through us, same price, and we will just bring it first class. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
And then after, we'll also include a agreement form, a form where you just need to sign a few things, agree to a few things, and then once that's sent, we can go ahead and begin the billing and booking process to get you guys started.
And then you send me the muscle thing to buy.
I got that right. Yes. Oh yeah, I'll send you the link to the muzzle. Anything else?
No, that's it. I cannot wait to start.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything I missed. For as a common question owners have with regarding the e-collars, when do I put the e-collar on? When does it come off? Like when do I need it, right? So it's on when you need it. So for walks, it will be on. right? Because we can't predict what's going to happen in this walk. So let's
Mhm.
say we're going on a walk and he's doing great, and all of a sudden maybe like um, I don't know, a car crash happens or something, and he gets startled, and maybe he just tries to run away.
Right.
And you get startled, maybe the leash comes out of your hand, or maybe he pulls you
Right.
down, and then he's gone, right? Since you've practiced recall and you've taught him recall, you have the remote to make recall happen. Because
Mhm.
dogs are in that mode, or in that mindset, we call it flight mode. They're thinking kill or be killed. So Manolo will come, won't make him just turn around. You're gonna need power to override the brain in that moment to make him turn around.
Right.
Let's say in the home, like right now, you're not expecting anyone. And you're right. It's just this hour after this, you're just gonna probably go to bed and everything like that. You probably wouldn't need the e-car at all, right? Because he's being an angel right now. Guest comes over 30 minutes prior, collar him up, bro. We'll address whatever that is needing to be addressed, and then you'll most likely keep it on just in case he decides like to maybe press some boundaries, trying to see that guest or anything like that. But then maybe you find that it's a familiar friend, you have it on to address the excitement in the first place. But then if you find that he's consistently good at after those first interaction moments, then you can take it off. Right?
Okay.
No preference in those moments, but again, it's on when you need it, it's off when you don't need it. It's like if he's going to be sleeping, most likely not going to be
I with this one, which is not the same. I've been putting it off since morning because there's so many people coming to the door and there's so many things happening. Not saying that it's working amazing, but he has a thing. He thinks all things are his. He gets excited to put it on. So I'm like, I put it on. I charge it overnight, and so he's kind of used to it. So it won't bother him unless I'm like zapping him all day, right?
on. Okay.
So I'm okay with that. Is that okay with the other color?
Yeah, you can have it on all day if you want. I had a client. There were a couple. They were elderly, a little older, and they had a little white terrier that would just pick up everything and run around with it. So keys, money, as things that are important to them. So since they're elderly, they kept the collar on all day. Now, if you're going to keep the collar on all day, what you're going to want to do is either buy comfort pads for long wear, because if you have 2 points here, you can get pressure sores, and it'll be like little two red little dots. As
Okay.
to do with the shock, it's just two metal probes stuck here for such a long time.
Right. This one has like a rubber
Yeah,
protective thing that you put in.
yeah. So ours don't. So if you're gonna have it on for more than an hour, you probably want to rotate it every 2 hours to the other side of the neck. Or
Okay.
again, you get comfort pads, but you're most likely just better off just rotating it and then you'll be fine.
Okay.
But this couple ended up buying comfort pads and they just kept it on all day, right?
Okay.
The dog would steal stuff and all they had to do is press a button, the dog would drop it and leave it alone. But
Okay.
since they kept it on all day, and every single opportunity they saw, him take something and they corrected him with it, he stopped super quickly because how
Right. Because it's constant. Yeah.
because if they didn't have if they're like, yeah, he's fine, we'll take the e-car off, and he takes something, how are they going to make it? How are they going to stop him? Because he's a dog running around in circles. How are they going to make that happen?
Right. Right. Right.
Um, any other questions? Does that make sense?
No, yeah, totally. Yeah. We'll see about this one. Who knows? But I'm down for whatever. Yeah.
So I think that is all. Like I said, all this stuff sounds very normal. It's something that we usually just deal with on a regular basis. These type of cases. So it's nothing out of our um, what is it? Our zone, I guess the word is. But other than that, Tina, my assistant, will be in touch with you with the follow-up stuff, where she'll set you up with like the billing, the booking, and the scheduling, all those other things.
Great.
And if any questions come up, please feel free to email me and I'll answer them. But other than that, if there's nothing else, it was very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you so much.
And then we'll keep in touch.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.